Dramatic story, Michael, Lauren, and their tenuous relationship with Victor Newman in the world of intrigue and conspiracy on The Young and the Restless. One of the most notable episodes right now is the tense battle between Lauren and Victor Newman over Michael's role in Victor's plans. When Michael accepts a new assignment from Victor, he is faced with a dangerous choice that is not only morally reprehensible but could also damage his relationships with those closest to him. Meanwhile, Lauren, who has always been protective of her husband and family, cannot sit still as Michael is once again drawn into Victor's shady games. This story is sure to take viewers through a range of emotions, with deep intrigue and life-or-death decisions. Michael and Victor's tangled relationship. Michael Baldwin, a talented lawyer with exceptional skills in handling complex legal situations, is no stranger to working for Victor Newman. The relationship between the two, though professional, has a dark history. Victor, with his vast empire, often needs people who can dirty their hands to carry out tasks that, if discovered, could get him in trouble with the law. This time, Victor trusts Michael with a new mission, one that could put him in awkward and dangerous situations. Michael will have to decide whether to remain loyal to his boss or find a way to escape from uncontrollable events. However, with his close relationship with Victor, can Michael refuse when his boss asks? Lauren worries about Michael. Lauren, Michael's wife, is a strong, intelligent woman who is always worried about the safety of her family. She knows the dangers Michael may face when involved with Victor, and constantly tries to protect him from the dangers she knows will come. While Michael, as a loyal and dedicated person, cannot see the danger behind Victor's missions, Lauren sees it more clearly than anyone else. So, Lauren does not hesitate to come up with a plan to prevent Michael from continuing to work for Victor. She realizes that if she does not act now, Michael may be stuck in a quagmire from which he cannot escape. In a tense meeting, Lauren calls Nikki Newman, a longtime friend and one of Victor's biggest influences, to discuss her plan. Lauren's plan and the conversation with Nikki. Lauren knows that if she wants to win this battle, she needs help from those who can influence Victor's decisions. Nikki, although she is Victor's wife and someone she has always respected, is also someone who can clearly see what is going on in the Newman family. Not only does Lauren want Nikki to help her convince Michael to leave Victor, but she also intends to put Nikki in a difficult situation. Lauren will ask Nikki to become a traitor in Victor's eyes. She understands that this will not only damage Nikki's relationship with Victor but also cause Nikki to face unforeseen consequences. However, Lauren believes that this is the only option to save Michael from Victor's manipulation. She knows that only Nikki can help push back Victor's influence, or at least stop the shady tasks he assigns to Michael. Nikki and the dilemma. Nikki, as Victor's wife, is constantly facing internal struggles between her love for her husband and her concern for those around her. She knows that Victor is not someone who can be easily persuaded, but if anyone can do this, it is Nikki. However, Lauren's request puts Nikki in a difficult position. If she betrays Victor, can she live with that decision and will Victor forgive her? This is one of the most complicated situations Nikki has ever faced. She has always been the protector of the Newman family, but this situation may force her to choose between loyalty and love for her family. This conflict will create a dramatic confrontation not only between two strong women but also between them and Victor, whom they both love and care about. Michael, the difficult decision and the consequences. Meanwhile, Michael is faced with a difficult decision. On one side is family and love, on the other is work and loyalty to Victor. No matter what, he knows that every decision he makes will affect not only himself but also his family and the relationships around him. If he continues to work for Victor, he could get into more trouble than he can imagine. But if he refuses, will Victor forgive him and what will be the consequences for the Baldwin family? Not only will this situation create tension between Michael, Lauren, and Victor, but it will also be a major turning point in the lives of the characters on The Young and the Restless. Will Michael continue to be loyal to Victor, or will he realize that what he is doing could be harmful to everyone around him? The confrontation between Lauren and Nikki, with Lauren's sophisticated calculations, will be the focus of the story in the following episodes. And most importantly, this is a lesson in sacrifice, loyalty, and the difficult decisions that each character must face in this world full of intrigue and danger. This story is sure to keep fans of The Young and the Restless on the edge of their seats, as secrets are gradually revealed and decisions can change the lives of the characters forever. In the intrigue-filled and tangled world of The Young and the Restless, the story between Lauren, Nikki, and Victor Newman goes beyond family relationships to a psychological and strategic battle over power and loyalty. Each character in this story is caught in a maelstrom of intrigue, and they are faced with choices that could change their lives forever. Lauren and Victor Newman's perception. Lauren Baldwin, a resilient and intelligent woman, has always had a sharp eye for the world around her. Over the years, she has witnessed Victor Newman's ruthlessness and never-ending power struggles. A man capable of manipulating everything to achieve his goals, Victor has never hesitated to use unorthodox methods to maintain his power. Despite his love for his family, Victor's coldness and desire for control are unacceptable to Lauren. With concerns about her husband Michael's future, Lauren realizes that it may be time for her to betray Victor. This betrayal is not just a personal decision, but a necessary step to protect the person she loves from a powerful and scheming man. However, Lauren cannot do this alone. She needs help from those who can approach Victor and understand his movements. And the person Lauren trusts the most at this time is Nikki Newman, Victor's wife. Lauren calls Nikki for help. Lauren, with anxiety rising in her heart, decides to seek Nikki's help. Nikki is not only Victor's wife, but also someone who has witnessed and experienced many of his dark sides. Although Nikki loves her husband, she cannot help but notice the dangers and unethical actions that Victor has taken. Lauren convinces Nikki that if she can help learn more about the missions Michael is undertaking under Victor's direction, they can avoid more serious consequences. However, this task is not simple. Nikki, despite her feelings for Victor, cannot ignore Lauren's warnings. Although she does not want to betray her husband, it is Victor's actions that gradually make Nikki realize that silence and blind loyalty to him are not always the right choice. She understands that once again, if she does not stop him soon, it may all be too late. Nikki's temptation and decision. Throughout her conversation with Lauren, Nikki senses the tension and anxiety in her best friend's voice. Lauren is not only protecting Michael, but is also facing a great danger, a danger that neither she nor the Baldwin family can overcome without timely intervention. Although Nikki feels uneasy about entering such a dangerous game, she also knows that she cannot ignore it. Her relationship with Lauren and Michael is enough to make her decide to help. So Nikki finally agreed to listen to Lauren and learn more about the orders Michael was working on for Victor. She knew that if these missions were related to a larger conspiracy, not only Michael but the Baldwin family would suffer the consequences. She couldn't let that happen. And while she didn't want to do things behind Victor's back, Nikki also realized that if she didn't act now, the secrets would gradually come out and everything would fall into the hands of a dangerous person. Victor's dangerous situation and actions. However, things weren't that simple. If Victor found out that Nikki was working behind his back, he definitely wouldn't forgive her. As a powerful and cunning man, Victor wouldn't let anyone, not even his wife, get in the way of his long-cherished plans. If he found out, he would react harshly and wouldn't hesitate to use extreme measures to maintain his power. However, Victor was also a smart man. He will not be quick to criticize Nikki, but will try to downplay the situation. Perhaps, Victor will try to convince Nikki that she does not need to worry about what is going on. He will downplay the seriousness of the plot and tell her that everything is under control. However, these words are just a way to calm her down and continue to maintain the upper hand in his relationship with his wife. Victor's persuasion, while skillful, will not easily conceal the fact that he is doing things wrong. Lauren and Nikki, Jack's protectors. Not only Michael, but Lauren and Nikki also consider Jack Abbott a close friend. Their relationship with Jack has grown over the years, and when Victor begins to carry out his plot to take down Jabot, a key part of his strategy to control the market, both Lauren and Nikki feel the need to protect Jack. They know that Victor will stop at nothing to destroy everything Jack has built, and if they don't act now, the price will be high. But the big question remains, can Lauren and Nikki stop Victor? Do they have the strength and courage to stand up to a man as powerful as Victor? These are the questions that these two strong women will face in the coming episodes. A fragile relationship, and the next plan. This story is not only a battle between characters but also a tense internal confrontation. As Lauren and Nikki work together to protect their family and friends from Victor's manipulations, they are faced with difficult decisions. Each step could completely change the relationship between the characters and reshape the battle between the wealthy families in Genoa City. With Victor always a schemer and never giving up on his goals, can Lauren and Nikki protect what they love? Can they stop Victor's plot before it's too late? The answer can only be revealed in the upcoming episodes of The Young and the Restless, which are full of intrigue, betrayal, and sacrifice. The story between Lauren, Nikki, and Victor will surely continue to excite fans, as each decision of these characters can lead to major changes in the complex world of Genoa City. The hidden traps, Diane, Tracy, and the confrontation with Martin Laurent in the scheming world of The Young and the Restless, nothing can predict the dramatic and tense situations. And one of the most notable stories today is the confrontation between Diane Jenkins, Tracy Abbott, and a mysterious and dangerous character, Alan Laurent, aka Martin Laurent. This story is not only a psychological war between the characters but also a struggle between loyalty, fear, and decisions that can change the lives of the characters on The Young and the Restless. Diane and Fear. Diane Jenkins, after many years of being away and living in the dark, finally returns to Genoa City with the hope of starting a new life. However, her return is not easy. Diane always faces dangerous situations that threaten the safety of herself and those she loves. And this time, the danger comes from someone she never expected, Alan Laurent, or more precisely, Martin Laurent. With his mysterious dual identity and a past full of intrigue, Martin Laurent is a figure Diane knows she cannot ignore. While she tries to rebuild her relationships with her family and friends, a story about Alan Laurent gradually emerges, making Diane nervous. Rumors of a chaos caused by Martin are spreading, and Diane knows she cannot stand by as danger gets closer. Diane knows that if she does not act, she will not only lose what she has built, but also be drawn into a game she cannot escape. Especially when the secrets behind the name Alan Laurent begin to be revealed, Diane must face a great fear, not only the danger from Martin but also the truths she does not want to face. Tracy Abbott and the plan from an old friend. While Diane is worried about the appearance of Martin Laurent, Tracy Abbott, Diane's longtime friend, has a daring plan. Tracy is not one to give up easily, and when she discovers Martin's dark schemes, she decides to find out the truth herself. Despite knowing the danger Martin can bring, Tracy still decides to continue with her plan, to confront Alan, or more precisely, Martin, directly to extract important confessions from him. However, Tracy's plan is not without risks. Facing a dangerous man like Martin Laurent not only threatens her own safety but can also have unpredictable consequences for those around her. Diane, upon hearing about this plan, cannot help but worry about her friend. She knows that Tracy has always been brave, but this time, this decision may cost her. Diane kept reminding Tracy of the risks she would face. However, Tracy was not easily swayed. She was used to facing challenges and was not afraid of danger. But deep down, Tracy also knew that this was not an easy decision. She had to fight her own fears before making the final decision. The confrontation with Martin Laurent. When Tracy officially confronted Martin, she was not simply seeking a confession from him but also trying to decipher all the mysteries surrounding this man. Martin Laurent was not someone who could be easily fooled or manipulated. He possessed patience, intelligence, and the ability to turn the situation around, making Tracy careful with every step she took. As Tracy approached Martin, the tension in the air was obvious and unavoidable. She realizes that, in order to get a confession from him, she will have to not only use her wits, but also confront the brutal truth that Martin may reveal. Will Martin own up to his actions? And if he does, will Tracy have the strength to deal with the consequences that the truth brings? However, throughout this confrontation, Tracy is not only facing Martin, but also fighting with herself. Concerns about her safety, about what might happen if she goes too far in this confrontation, all press into her mind. Tracy knows that, once she enters this game, there is no turning back. Diane worried about Tracy's safety as Tracy carried out her plan. Diane couldn't help but worry about her best friend. She knew that if Tracy confronted Martin directly, things could go in a direction that neither of them could foresee. The dangers behind Martin were not something anyone could control, and Diane felt like she was standing on shaky ground. She feared that this confrontation would not only hurt Tracy, but could also disrupt everything they had worked so hard to build. However, Diane knew that there was nothing more she could do than warn Tracy and hope that she would come out of this situation unscathed. But what Diane didn't expect was Tracy's resilience. She had overcome many challenges in her life and this time was no exception. However, Diane still couldn't help but feel uneasy when she saw Tracy continuing this fight alone. The dramatic ending, the confrontation between Tracy and Martin, will be a turning point in this story. Tracy's ingenuity and courage will be tested to the limit, and Martin's confessions may cause her and Diane to face a truth they never expected. The story is not only about the confrontation between the characters but also about the decisions each person must face when faced with danger and difficult choices. This story, with intrigue, courage and loyalty, will continue to keep the young and the restless fans on the edge of their seats. When traps begin to appear and things do not go as planned, will Tracy and Diane be able to protect themselves and the people they love? Surely, this battle will only begin, and the truths that have not been revealed will surprise everyone. Subscribe to our channel to update the latest news on our channel.